Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know what time it is. It is Monday night. I know we normally go live at 7, but we got a special guest in the building tonight. So do me a favor and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Fat Boy Finesse is live again. I see y'all in the chat. I see y'all in the chat. I see y'all in the chat. Y'all already know what to do, man. Post us in of the days and let me know where you're watching from. In the words of my guy, Trey Sense, check in with your boy. Let me know where you're watching from. Can't nobody, yeah. Y'all already know. Can't nobody do it better. We live tonight. Will, I see you in the building. Dame, I see you in the building. James, Jim, look. Jim, I see you in the building. Let's go. It's going to be an exciting time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got about 2 more minutes. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Fat Boy Finesse is live again. KB, I see you in here. Older Erica, I see you in here. David Webster, what's going on? We got Maryland in the building. It's the DMV. What's going on, my guy? Hope all is well. What's going on, Jay Godfrey? I hope all is well. Hey. I told you we're going to have a good time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's Monday. People feel like Monday is a mundane. That's why we got to liven it up. If you had a Monday like I had, then you ought to get hype, because it was a long one. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey. Let's go, let's go. We got Riley in the building. Shout out to the home team. We got Yom in the building. Shout out to the home team. You already know it's that time of the year, it's that season. What's going on, Johnny Mason? Hey, man, y'all let everybody know. Okay, I see you, Alcorn State. I see you, Alcorn State. What's going on, Sir John? Hey, y'all. Y'all tell everybody. I know we normally live at 7. But let them know, we are live in the building. We are here. We are here. We are here. Happy Monday. It's Fat Boy Monday. Let's go, let's go. Hey. Hey. Hey, man, it's a good day. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Listen, I got a special guest in the back. I'm not going to bring him on yet, but y'all already know what time it is. It is Monday. which means that it is our day. Welcome to what I call the attic. You know what I'm saying? This is the attic. Somebody asked me, why do you call it the attic? It's kind of a wordplay thing, you know? Safest place on the internet for fragrance fans and fragrance fanatics. Sometimes you need to just get away. But I didn't want to call it the basement because basements kind of got to go down. I still want to have an elevated conversation. So a lot of times we put things away in the attic. I like to go get those things out, you know, that other people don't like to talk about. Let's go up in the attic and dust some of those things off and have some great conversations. So I appreciate y'all, man. Definitely. I see everybody checking in. DMV is in the building. My guy Mo Plug is in the building. Hey, man, it's going to be a very good night. It's going to be a very good night. I'm seeing some people I haven't seen before. I'm seeing some names that I have not seen before. So again, you guys know what to do. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Fat Boy Finesse is live again. Everybody's checking in. I see Sin of the Days in the building. Listen, guys, we are here for a good time, not necessarily a long time tonight. We're going to have a very efficient conversation. You all saw the screen. We're going to be talking about Xerjoff, not Xerjoff, Xerjoff. I know a lot of times we just been pronouncing it like that X is like xylophone. But I remember watching a live stream with Jims and Jason. You know what I'm saying? And I learned we were corrected. So we learned what the correct pronunciation is. So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. You guys go ahead, about 8:10, and then we're gonna go ahead and start getting rolling with the show. You continue to put your Sin of the Days in the chat. Again, if you do not know, I appreciate you guys coming in for the first time. My name is Walter, but they call me Fat Boy Finesse. That's what they call me. Pretty Ricky, what they call me. My mama called me Pretty Boy Floyd. You know, so that's another story for another day. But I'm excited to see some faces that I have never seen before. I see some names that I have never seen before. Burlington in the building, you know. So I'm excited to see you guys, man. So one last time, tell a friend to tell a friend that Fat Boy Finesse is live again. So like I said, we're going to be going over some Xerjoff tonight. And I know a lot of you guys are huge fans of the brand. And so a lot of you are probably nervous because it's like, Walt, you've been talking a lot about niche lately. What's happening? I told you guys, we love all fragrance. And so we want to embrace. Some of you guys, y'all have told me, it's like, well, you know, we like you. We may not like what you like, but we do like you. And we love just hanging out with you. And I appreciate that, you know, because that means the energy, the authenticity that we bring to the community, to this corner of the internet is sincere. And so I love just chopping it up, having a great time with you guys. And so I'm not going to belabor the time. We're going to go ahead and get started. And then I'm going to bring on my guest. And yeah, like I said, we're here for a good time, not a long time. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right to it. The views and the opinions expressed in this program are those of my own and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities I represent or collaborate with. I love fragrance. There will be no clone slander, designer slander, or niche slander. Like what you like, love what you love. Most importantly, don't take my word for it. Get your own nose on it. They gonna trip when they hear this. This guy. Nah, it ain't Jada. It's Fat Boy, but you can call me Walt. Walt J. Hey, let's cut up for a little bit. Here we go. That boy crazy. Call me Mr. Elixir. My nose is something sinister. I'm stone cold like a tombstone. I'm a finisher. Finisher. A fragrance that a finisher. Preaching about these oils like they holy. I'm a minister. Trying to set the record straight. Curve is the real king. Still got love for grease. Savage made them girls free. Can't forget that 1 million got me feeling real lucky. Call me Fat Boy, but don't test me. It can get ugly. I'm trying to find a new cologne. I don't really know where to go. That boy out here singing, boy. Crazy work. Hey, get him again, Fat Boy. I'm a real fragrance reviewer from niche to designers. You can never clone Fat Boy. I know that's right. I'm rocking with the Czar and my homegirls, the oil lady. Paris, Milan, no look tougher than my other ladies. Renaissance man, though I never been to Harlem. Love a New York night like a crook, love a bond man. Belling out the game, but them call me a savior. Casting out these phonies call me a demon slayer. In the words of my brother Dedra Hicks, positive vibes only. And positive vibes only. Let's go ahead. Let's get right to it. My friend, Raphael, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Walter. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Amen to your disclaimer, by the way. Amen.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have to put that out there, you know, as we continue to do more things on the channel with the brand on the platform. Having been, I guess, what you can call a serial entrepreneur at some point in my life, I understand there are some things that just need to be said. And so with a lot of the partnerships, collaborations, those things like that, you want to make sure you're doing your due diligence to really kind of protect yourself, because, you know, you never know. Somebody could, I don't appreciate that, Walt. I'm just giving my opinion, you know, so it's not a disrespectful thing. It's just, you know, kind of just with the YouTube thing, social media thing, you want to make sure you're definitely protecting yourself. But glad to have you in the building. Now, real quick, there's no need for us to have an amazing show and you guys can't hear. So Jim says we hear echo. Dame says we hear echo. So y'all give me 1 second and I got it. Don't worry about it. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. Boom, 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 boom. Let me ask y'all this, chat. I appreciate that. Who is the echo coming from, me, or who is the echo coming from? Tell me that before we get into the conversation, because I like to make sure that's established. What's going on, Chris? I see you. Gems and Dame, where do you hear the echo coming from?
Maybe if I talk, if I say something, maybe they're going to figure it out it's me.
I think I see what it is. What's going on, Sally? So, hold on. You are feeding back. Don't worry about it. I'm going to fix this right now. Roadcaster's chat. Nah, so yeah, it's playing. Raphael, say something for me real quick.
Hello.
All right, that fixed that problem, but hold on. I can't hear. It's crazy how you do something a million times. All right, let's do this. All right, you guys can hear me now? You guys can hear me now? All right, now, Raphael, say something for me.
Hello.
I think that should be fixed. You guys tell me. You guys confirm that for me. I know, so we're probably perfect. Dame said it's perfect. I need somebody else to confirm that it's perfect. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. Much better. Great. That's why I appreciate y'all, chat. I love to hear it. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, allow me to reintroduce myself for those of you who may be coming in for the first time. My name is Walt, but most of you know me as Fat Boy Finesse. Special guest on this evening, Raphael. Help me pronounce your last name so that I don't butcher it. So when I hear you say it the first time, I know how to pronounce it correctly.
It's Valareso.
I love it.
Valareso.
Gotcha. Okay, so I will not forget that. So I learned how to say Xerjoff, and I learned how to say your last name. All right, so again, chat, Leslie, I see you. I see everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys. So let's go ahead and get started in the conversation. We're going to go through some samples tonight, specifically from the brand, from the house. I have, you know, slight familiarity with a couple of things, like some of the more popular offerings like Naxos, like that. Urban Gold, Urban Pure, we kind of had that discussion, that conversation. But you are officially my first interview on the channel. So this is a monumental, this is history in the making tonight, people. So definitely make sure you're hitting that like button. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend that Fat Boy Finesse is live again. Raphael, before we jump into the fragrances, if you would like to just take a moment, really kind of introduce yourself to the people. I know some of the guys are familiar with you that are already in the space, but a lot of my audience may not be familiar with you at all. So if you just wanted to take a moment to let people know who you are, feel free, my friend, go right ahead.
I appreciate it. My name is Rafael Valareso. I entered into this community, France community, in 2015. Discovered all niche perfumery. I was tired about the designer kind of like not so powerful, not so losing that kind of punch that he has before. So when I read an article on GQ magazine, I discovered the new trend in perfumery. It calls oud. And then when I started reading about oud, I discovered niche perfumery. Then in 2016, I discovered Xerjoff, and then Roja, Creed, and all these, niche brands. And since 2018, I started collaborating with the brand when they opened their new website. But officially this year, I started working for the brand after all these years, collaborated with them at Honorem. And now I'm working for the brand, representing the brand here in the USA.
That is tremendous. I think that is super, super dope how you go from that to just being able to represent the brand now. So I love to absolutely hear it. I'm going to ask you one question to get the conversation started, because people know I love to talk about fragrance. We can talk about that all night. But beyond the price point of Xerjoff, what would you say luxury means to Xerjoff, if you can speak to that? And how does the brand balance like artistry and wearability? Because a lot of times there are a lot of people in my community, in my audience, that may be afraid of niche because of, like, you started out talking about oud. And I think a lot of people associate niche with oud and these very bold type of scents that, they cost a lot of money, but they may not necessarily be mass appealing. How do you feel like the brand goes about balancing wearability and artistry? And then what makes the brand more of a luxury style brand just beyond the price point that it is?
Well, the price point is all about the market. There's a
Right.
market for everyone. But what Sergio is actually make the difference between the rest of the niche luxury house, basically because it's an Italian luxury house founded in 2007 by Sergio Momo. The name of the brand came from Sergio's Momo grandmother, who used to call him Joff, and then the rest of the family used to call him Joff. And then when Sergio decided to move to England to go to college, his colleagues, when he started working in London, they called him Sir. And that's why the association of the two words, Sir Joff, that's how the name is started for the brand. And how they actually manage luxury? Well, they acquire the best oils as they can possibly reach. And then the blending. In perfumery, niche perfumery is all about blending. You can have a variety of houses that you can get all the oils, but it's all about the blending and pick the right perfumer that is going to go according what the brand wants to express their perfume. So there's a perfume for everyone. And the luxury status is because, first of all, they established in Italy, in Torino. That's where the house was founded.
Okay.
And they brought up their catalog to UK. So basically they are in Harrods, which is really hard to be at Harrods. And they are at the 6th floor of Harrods, which is the Salon de Parfums. So all the most beautiful and outstanding niche perfumery are there. So the clientele that they go to Harrods are upscale. But Xerjoff is actually expressing their luxury through the multisensorial expression. So every time when you spray a perfume from Xerjoff, you're gonna feel a multisensorial experience. How? They produce gourmand perfumes. They collaborated with, for example, a couple weeks ago, they collaborated with a Michelin star chef. And then he actually grabbed one of the perfume, which is P33. And then they create a dish on base of ingredients that P33 has.
Okay.
So that's a multisensorial experience. So, for example, they collab with Tony Iommi, the guitar player of Black Sabbath. And they express his music and his journey in music through the perfume. So when you spray the Tony Iommi Monkey Special, it's a journey of patchouli, that gothic, metallic, surrounded all that area. So the metal rock. So as well as, you know, other collaborations. So that's how the luxury is present that multisensorial experience. You
Gotcha.
you can find in other brands, but this is unique. This is very special, and that's exactly why, because of the between the connections that Sergio has and the how they actually start making the product. For example, they start making the products with the style, how they actually make the flacon, and
Okay.
then they create a story, and that story has to be related with the flacon, the design, and also the ingredients that it comes in it. So the story is the main reason how, or the main purpose of how they actually start up a collection. For example, in this case of a P33, the collection calls a sketchbook, and P33 means page 33. I don't know if you can see it.
Wow. Yeah, we can see. We can
So
see it.
yeah, so what happens? Like Sergio Momo, in his drawer, he got a book, and then in the page 33 he started doing some designs, and he started designing, and then he started getting an idea of that collection, and then he's putting the ingredients that he wants to get over. So that's how that's how Sergio started with a perfume, with a story. That's the main point, and then
So
they created with the design, the collaboration, and everything.
that's it's funny you mentioned that. And I know I promise y'all we're gonna get to the fragrance, but you guys know how I am. Because one of the other questions I was gonna ask you later is one of the things I've noticed just looking at the brand is that it does have a lot of story driven personality behind it. And that seems to be a real thing as far as the inspiration for a lot of the fragrances, which I'm a huge fan of because storytelling is one of those things that, like, everybody has a fragrance at this point, you know, but I always talk about with branding is like in building a brand, building a community, like, what is the differentiating factor? So people that follow me know one of the things I've said often is like, what is your secret sauce? You know, like Big Mac has, you know, their sauce, you know, but so what is it that separates a Big Mac from a Whopper, you know, from something at In and Out, and all of these other restaurants? Because everybody sells burgers, everybody sells chicken sandwiches, everybody has a car, everybody sells milk, everybody sells bread. But it's like, what is the thing that puts this brand above the rest? And so the fact that you just led right into that without me having to ask it was phenomenal. So I appreciate that. Let's go ahead, jump right into the first one. I'm going to start with 1888. If you guys have been following the channel, this is one that I already reviewed that I did a first impression of. And so this is from is it Casa Morati? Is that the way you pronounce that?
Yeah,
Okay.
casa means house, and Morati.
All
So
right.
this is an old house that Sergio Momo, in his tours throughout Italy, discovered this house, and it was kind of like an abandoned house. And then someone said to him, like, "Listen, we have some perfumes from that house. Would you like to, enjoy the first formulas?" And then he tried the formulas, and he said, like, "Listen, let's revive this house." Why? Because if you think about it, the word Sergio is association of two words, right? Put it
Mm-hmm.
together. But does it sound Italian to you? I don't think so, right?
Mm-mm.
No. But Casamorati sounds Italian.
It
So
does.
when Sergio Momo brought up his first collection and the name of the brand, Sergio, they said, like, "Listen, we need more flacons, we need more collections besides the 1717 collection that it was the very first collection. Let's, do something different, like it's actually from Italy and sounds like an Italian brand." So that's why he bought the house long time ago, revived the house because the house was abandoned. It was founded in 1888. And as you see, that's the meaning of why these perfumes calls 1888. That's when Casamorati was founded. And if you can see the back of the bottle. The back of the bottle says 1888. I
Beautiful.
don't know if you can see it. You can see it there. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, 1888. So that's how that was part of a like a sub house inside of the whole entire portfolio. That's how Casamorati is.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So this again was one of the ones that I did do a first impression with, and this was the one that I think I ended up liking the most out of the fragrances. I did it with two other fragrances that were from some other houses, but these were the ones. This was the one that I ended up liking the most. Now, you guys, you probably know me by now, how I am when it comes to fragrances. I'm a huge gourmand fan, so I really can't go wrong with that. When it comes to things with rose, you guys know I'm not the biggest rose person, so it has to be a particular type of way, and you know leathers a particular type of way. We're getting into fall, so 1888 to me, and those of you who have never really experienced Xerjoff, you know, when you get some of the samples, you know, this is kind of what the sample pack is going to come in. And like I said, you have, it's color coded to also like the color of the bottle, so you have the name of the brand. And then like this one in particular, you can see right here, this is the decant that you're gonna see right there. So hopefully you guys can see that. But spices, I'm one of those people, I'm in the middle when it comes to spice. And this was a different type of spice. This was something that definitely I can see within the fall. I can't say when I wore it, then when I tried it out, that it's something that I would necessarily buy a full bottle of, but it is something that I could definitely see myself growing into because I'm huge on Oriental profiles. Like I can take a million different fragrance quizzes and it's going to tell me I'm an Oriental guy. And this one definitely has that Oriental, that floral aspect in here because it's got the, I call them the yin yang twins, that yang lang that's in there. But when you get some of that pepper and that spice, you know, that sweet spice that comes from the clove, those are things that I have to grow in because if it starts to lean towards Home Bazaar, then you guys know I check out. But if it comes back and kind of brings me back to more of a grounded place, I'm cool with it. And that's one of the things I did notice with 1888, that the further I got into it, I was like, this is something that I actually might like more. And so how often, just in terms of this fragrance in particular, like I said, I wanted to start here because it's the one that I did start with when I opened the pack when you sent it to me. Do you find this to be one of the more popular offerings, or is it kind of for a particular group, kind of like, you know, how I just mentioned?
Well, since I mentioned earlier that I discovered this community online in 2015, back in the day, this particular perfume was one of the darlings for fall and winter. So most of the reviewers, which it was a very handful, like no more than 20 or maybe 15 reviewers, and probably the from those 15, 20, only 7, maybe 10, they were kind of like powerful, like adolescents, Steven.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, they were talking about this perfume, 1888. Mostly, you were when I heard the first time a video from Max Forte, he was describing this with a spiciness and a lot of carnation. You know, like yeah, the carnation is there as a supporting note, but it's not on your face. It's like you said, it's like more spiciness. It's like it's tremendous. But to me, the key note, which it makes it appealing, like cardamom is spicy and it's appealing. Back then, and this is carry some sort of vintage vibe. If
Mm-hmm.
you have your experience with vintage perfume, like from the 70s, the 70s, the 80s, yeah, it has that coriander. That coriander. Instead of cardamom, put coriander. And that coriander makes it so, oh, it feels luxury. It feels inviting. It wants you, you know, because of it's a warm perfume, it makes you feel like, oh, I want to hug you. Who you
Right.
are. Let me get to know you. Kind of like that.
Yeah, cardamom is definitely one of my favorite accords in fragrance, but I do notice that it's kind of funny you mention that because you see cardamom in a lot of designers, you know, and niches like, we can use cardamom and we may use it a little bit, but let's pull in something different like coriander. And that's the thing. I think sometimes people, they don't understand, myself included, because I'm on a scent journey. I'm still growing with this, where it's like, hey, there is not just about, there are levels to how we approach this. There is just a method to the madness. And as far as how we approach fragrances, because it's like, if everybody is doing the same thing, how do we do something that makes us stand out, stick apart? And something so simple as saying, instead of cardamom, let's use coriander to still give you that spice feeling, but something different, you know, when you combine it with the other things like the clove, that's like, and that's what made me sit back. Because one of the things I want to stress to people is that just because I don't like something doesn't mean the fragrance is not good. And I try to make sure that comes off in my reviews or first impressions, where it's like, hey, this might not be for me. Very well, I know several of you that would love this, but it's like, it may not necessarily be something that I'm completely interested in. But coriander, I do see used in a lot of things. And to Jim's point, like I said, it can have that woody and citrusy feel too, depending on how it's used. But 1888, yeah, like I said, that woody, oriental, floral nature is something I could definitely grow into, especially this time of the year. Perfect time for the fall.
Yeah, it's perfect time. Feel cozy. It makes you feel like you're under the cover when probably it's an outcast, so it's rainy, and you want on Netflix nowadays. But back in the day, I'm telling you, if you go back to YouTube, old channels, old videos, you will find out this one more often. People were talking about this one a lot because it has that kind of feel on the north. They're gonna enjoy this probably at this time of the year and the months to come, even next year. It's tremendous. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Ilang ilang, a little bit of carnation, yeah, is there also, and typical Xerjoff that also use amber, musk, sandalwood, and it has sandalwood as well. So it's beautiful. It has that amber note that is beautiful as well. Like I said, it makes you feel cozy.
Definitely does.
Definitely one of the, and it was, believe it or not, it was my third bottle of purchase in 2016. I still have the old one. What is the old one? Look at, let me show you the, where is it? Yeah. Look, I bought this one in 2016. And look at the difference. You see the difference? Look at the cap. The cap is like,
yeah, you can definitely see it.
yeah, the cap, the decal. This is past and present. Past and present. Kind of
That's crazy.
almost the same, but you see how loose is this one? The tassel, and then the tassel here is like they put out the flacon, they made it like that, and the tassel stays there. Why? Because it looks so awful like that. You see how wobble is here? So the brand improved their flacons. They improve a lot of features that, okay, we are calling ourselves as a luxury brand. Let's bring luxury to the people. And it's not like just made a perfume and make it like viral nowadays. No, make it like from the flacon, from the packaging, from the perfume, from the perfumer, from the oil, from the idea, and everything started from idea. So yeah, that's a homage when this brand was founded.
Gotcha. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize about that, but I wanted to ask another question. That's a great follow-up. What would you say, getting into, let's kind of jump back on the luxury thing. What would you say Xerjoff customers, what do they typically look for? And you kind of touched on this, but I want you to go in depth a little bit more before we go to the next fragrance. What are they looking for in Xerjoff compared to other niche brands, other niche fragrance buyers? And how do you see Xerjoff fitting into the broader scope of niche? You've got Amouage out there, you've got Roja, you got Parfums de Marly, you have all of these different brands, but and again, it's we know, that you are Team Xerjoff, so it's not like I'm trying to draw a divide, or I'm pretty sure I know how you're going to go with this, but I know you're also a lover and a fan of just fragrance in general. So I'm interested to kind of know, you knowing the customer base, you having the Facebook group, and knowing all of these different people. Is there anything that you know for a fact that, because there are a lot of Xerjoff fans, like lovers, that are in the chat right now. What does a Xerjoff person look for, and why would they buy this compared, and instead of like just going to say, let me go get Outlands from Amouage or something like that?
Sure. Being a customer before I start working for the brand, I noticed so many things in niche perfumery. So if you compare the last 5 years of perfumery in the community online, it's a huge change now. TikTok made a huge change. So believe it or not, when I was, going to Neiman, Saks, Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom, when I mentioned, do you know this brand, Sergio? Pretty much in America, 10 years ago, nobody kind of like, no, only people online. So when the brand started getting more popular because of TikTok, because of the online craziness, people start getting into like, oh, let me take a look of these kind of like colorful bottles. And they want to get into out of the, Baccarat Rouge, the Aventus, something different. And then when they start smelling and testing the bottle, because it's not only the presentation, you need to spray in your hand, get a sample or something. They're going to experience something totally different than the common core these days. Like, you can see a lot of Akigala wood, but a lot of vanillas, a lot of orange blossom. So with Sergio, you're going to have a palette, you're going to have a kaleidoscope of a variety of perfumes for each one in a household, for example. In a household, you're going to find someone who loves florals, someone who loves gourmands, fougères, chypras. So Sergio has that variety. And nowadays, for example, I just went to Neiman's and Saks, and I was talking to two people that they don't know that I work for Sergio. So I was talking to them when they started sneezing. Do you like this one? Do you like that one? Oh yeah, why do you like it? Oh, because it's different to the other ones over there. I said, oh, that's nice to hear, because you have another option. So in America, online community knew about Sergio. But back then in Europe, Xerjoff was popular. But in America, started getting to know Xerjoff probably in the last 5-7 years.
Okay.
No more than that. So when they have a Xerjoff right now, it's like, I remember back then when it was only Parfum de Marly, but then out of the blue, Initial pop up, I believe in 2017, 18. And you weren't around online. So when Initial pop up, like, oh, what is Initial? Nobody put it together that they're the same brand, So now we're not trying to do like Casamoratis outside of Sergio portfolio, no, all together. That's why they changed the bottles and they put it all together, as well as Kemi used to be this way, So now Kemi, it looks this way, like a Sergio bottle. So everything in one portfolio, you're gonna have the experience. You're gonna have a perfume for everyone at home, and that's exactly what I noticed and I witnessed, that people like to get a little bit out of the cloud chasing. Like, oh my God, I don't want this sweet or too much gourmand. I want something different, and they started to discover it, like I did in 2016 about this brand.
That that says a lot, because you brought up, this word called TikTok. And one of the conversations that we have a lot is, just like you said, like we know there's a difference between Xerjoff and the Parfums de Marly and all, because you guys have like what, if I heard correctly, it's like 188 options.
Nope. That's a kind of like, yeah, it's another kind of like online. People pay more attention. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Online, people pay more attention into the details of the ingredients of the perfume. Like, you talk about cardamom, the top, the mid, and the base notes. People also talk about, oh, this brand belongs to this brand, blah blah blah.
Right.
And also people create a kind of like a urban legend, if you want to call it, like, oh my god, this brand is popping up perfumes like every week, and it's not true. So Xerjoff only has 133 perfumes,
Oh, only
items.
100. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, yep. It used to be more, but little by little they start discontinuing some of the perfumes, and they start shrinking because of the demand. The market will dictate it,
Okay,
what is selling, what is more appreciated. But I must tell you something, throughout all these brands that I know, some people online thinking that, oh no, this is the definite perfume. You need to go for this. But when you are on and about, there's many people that appreciated the perfume that online don't care.
Mm,
So yeah, the real life is out there. When you said the couple of times I heard you when you said touch grass. Yeah, you need to go out there. When you go out there and see it, there's many people that they appreciate the ones that you dislike so much, and it's ridiculous. You don't have to dislike. You have another option.
right. And I agree with that because, and I actually have a shirt that says, only Fragcom cares. And again, because we have a lot of conversations, that, and you confirmed something, Maurice, if my boy John is watching, I had a very interesting conversation yesterday. I can't talk about this conversation. I'll tell you guys about this conversation later. And you're going to know in the coming weeks, I had a very particular conversation. And they said that, it's like, honestly, we don't really, I don't want to say they don't care, but it's like the things that you guys prioritize in the community is not necessarily the way that we look at things. And so that's one of the things I've tried to prioritize, especially closing out this year. It's easy to get, well, let me be careful how I say that. It can be very simplistic to get behind the camera, get behind the microphone, spray a fragrance, talk about what the experience, with it is. But when you actually get a chance, like you said, to get outside the house and get away from the camera and in real life, have real conversations with people and find out, what it is they really like and really experience. Like you said, to your point, you will find that it is totally different than just the conversations that are happening from myself, from the chat, in the comments, and different things like that. And so I love what social media has done for the fragrance community, for the fragrance industry, because it has allowed us to have these conversations. The downside to that, though, is a lot of the conversations are inflated and some of them are conflated. And so you have a lot of different things that are being said that's like, okay. And I've been guilty of that, so I'm not passing blame on anybody else. I know, especially early on in the journey, you kind of say some stuff and it's like, and you go back and it's like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking when I said that, but that's part of the growth. It's part of the journey, and it's part of the quote unquote maceration process in experiencing fragrance. We're gonna jump into it, and we're gonna go to the next fragrance, Raphael. But before that, I'm gonna talk to the chat for a second, and then I'm gonna run a quick ad, and we will see what's going on. Jim said, "Got to wear the cologne to experience it." Absolutely. They love the bottle hype on TikTok more than the actual perfumery in a lot of cases. That's the truth. That is definitely the truth, where I have absolutely seen that. And I can be honest, I hate to say it like this. I'm kind of a bottle whore, myself. Some things I have bought just because of the bottle, because if it's dope, it's like, man, that would be dope. But on average, Joe, shout out to the growth. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I think this is, and I'm going to solo myself real quick. This is one of the things that I want people to understand. Even people that are part of the Fat Boy family community, you guys, I tell you, I'm not an expert. The reason I've been successful is because I'm not an expert. I don't try to act like I know everything. I don't. Honestly, I don't want to know everything, because I want every day to be a new opportunity to experience something. I can tell the growth. I can tell the nose is like, it's getting cerebral. There are some things that are just like, yeah, I know exactly what that is. I have taken the time to go to unique, like actual you know, fragrance shops and people that deal in the pocket, you know, apothecaries or apothecary, however you say that word, apothecary, whatever. You see what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but and you get your nose on certain notes and ingredients, raw materials, essential oils, because as an enthusiast, it's one thing. As a creator, as an influencer, as a reviewer, it's a whole nother ball game. And you guys know at some point you're gonna get caught. You're going to get caught when you say something, and sometimes it's an accident. And then sometimes it's like, yeah, you got caught. And you got caught repeating something because you didn't do your own homework. And so I never want that to be the case with me. I never want that to be the case with anybody in this community. But it happens, you know. And so, yeah, enough of that. We're not going to have that conversation tonight. We'll save that for another time because, like I told y'all, we're here for a good time, not a long time. But we're going to run this real quick, and then we will get back to the conversation. And so, yeah, y'all keep chopping it up in the chat, man. Yo, listen, we gonna get right back to the video, but I just wanted to interrupt real quick just to say, have you ever seen an icon living, man? Listen, shout out to James Oral, who sent me over these icons, one of their absolute best sellers, man. Listen, no fit is complete without the frames and the fragrance. It's a full package. And if you rock with the craft, you know what I'm saying, of quality eyewear, if you appreciate superior craftsmanship and materials, if you love that uncompromising quality experience, that's what matters. We're not just trying to look good. We're not just trying to build glasses, but we want you to experience something at the highest level possible. And one of the things I appreciate about this is I'm a big guy. I'm a bit heavy-handed. So a lot of times, man, your frames, they might get damaged. You know what I'm saying? I got a smile that could kill, you know, and a lot of times I'll be hungry and things might get smudged up. You know, that's why I appreciate James Oro and the quality. And, you know, they done thrown your boy in this nice little microfiber cloth so we can keep him clean. And we got the case so we can travel with him and everything like that. Like I said, listen, I got on the icons. I want to hurry up and get back to the video. But these joints right here are pure fire. So it's one of the best sellers. Huge fan of these right here, available in multiple colorways. I love the oversized eyewear that gives me like this bold aesthetic. Again, that goes perfect with the fragrance that we're talking about and the fit that we got on. Nonetheless, hit the link in the description, use the code FATBOY10 so you can get 10% off. Let's jump back to the video. We can talk about these glasses a little more later. All right, good people, we're getting ready to jump into the second fragrance, which is, and let me go ahead and bring Raphael back on the screen. Alexandria II, the second. All right, so this is a live. I have not sprayed this. This is a live first impression. All right, let's go ahead.
Before you spray, would you like to go to Woods first, or would you like to make it for last? Because what do you think?
What would be your recommendation?
Well, yeah, it all depends, but yeah, let's do it. You know, since you announced it, let's do it. Yeah,
let's do it. You know,
let's do it because there's some myths that we can talk about oud. So this is the bottle. Alexandria II.
And I know this is super popular.
Yes. It was the darling also back in the day. It was the darling, like everybody were talking about, especially the ones that they discovered oud for the first time. Oh, you need to try Alexandria II. And this one has a story, like a very kind of long story, but I'm gonna make it very short for you and your viewers.
Take your time because this is good. I'm gonna enjoy this. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, Alexandria was made for Fortnum and Mason in UK, one of the big stores in UK, and it was made in 2012. They only made 100 bottles, and the bottles doesn't look like this one. The bottles used to look like square bottles. So when they made that Alexandria, they used a oud oil that it was aged 50 years, no 80 years like recently you can see in one of the recent oud releases from other brand. But back then in 2012, they used this 50 years old oil wood. Unfortunately, well, good for the brand, but unfortunately, as soon as they put out for sale that Alexandria, boom, in 2 hours, ran out. And Fortnum and Manson was asking, hey, can we make more? Because it was just an exclusive and it was only one round. Then when they went back to the perfumer, said like, listen, that 50 years old wood is gone. So how about if we make another one using an wood that is kind of close to that 50 years old? So I don't know how many years has that wood, but they made Alexandria II. That's the story how Alexandria II started. From an exclusive perfume for Fortnum and Manson, and it became to Alexandria II. You know, here's the tester strip, Alexandria II. And it still carries that enigmatic, because that's exactly how you feel when this is enigmatic. This is mysterious. This is like I really want to get to know you. You know, you sound mysterious. You sound kind of like I want to discover you. That kind of vibe, and that's how Alexandria is. It's a Oriental, semi-gourmand, if you want to call it. It's Oriental woody, because it has a rosewood. It has that lavender that is so magical, because it's a clash between the fruitiness with the lavender. So lavender and green apple. That combination, that combo with the Laotian wood, it makes this perfume majestic. But back in the day, from 2000, probably 13, when everybody were talking about, nowadays they're trying to snatch the very first Alexandria, but it's really hard. But around this time, probably no one wants to sell it because probably they run out. So back in the day, people were talking about this one. You know, when they talk about Xerjoff, they were talking about Neo and Alexandria II and Nexus. But yeah, that's
This
Alexandria II. That's how it started.
this is fire. So I'm gonna put this in perspective for y'all, because I work in IT, so I got to make high level things simple. You guys know that La Mer Le Parfum is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. If it's right, it's probably number one. I go back and forth 1A, 1B. This is La Mer Le Parfum. Graduated, went to grad school, got a master's, went back, got a doctorate, started a family, had a couple kids, and ended up taking over like Apple. Like, this is the next CEO of Apple after Tim Cook. This is Tim Cook's successor. This is fire.
Do you notice that there's some sort of silkiness in between?
Yeah,
Feels like
it's
silk.
like
Yeah.
super. I'm gonna just say it. This is super sexy.
Yeah.
A very sensual, sexy fragrance. Like, Gems, you weren't lying. Like it smelled good on paper, but on skin, you start to pull out everything else. You know, like those subtle hints of the rose that are there in the background. Like, this is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. I know, Sella, you said that Gems, see, you're saying is disrespectful. See, I gotta make it make sense for people that don't understand. If you have never encountered Xerjoff, you don't know what the heck it is I'm talking about. So for those people on that level, that all they know is designer, all they know is Jean-Paul Gaultier, like everybody else in America. Again, this is like, or maybe you're saying it's disrespectful because you have an Android. Maybe that's why you're saying it's disrespectful. I'm like, bro. So I can't help you with that. But John says, I gave the lineage of that fragrance and I wanna, this is fire.
Yeah.
Like
And
this.
that silkiness that I was talking about, it is Bulgarian rose. That Bulgarian rose is very special, super special. Like, if you know how to blend that Bulgarian rose, it's not gonna come off like kind of like metallic rose. kind of like the stem. This is more like the petals. You know, when you toss the petals of a pink rose or a red rose, and you toss the petals, they're very silky, they're very kind of waxy. That's exactly how the wood gets into the woods and create this aroma, thanks to the lavender and green apple.
Right. And
Because
this is
that's exactly what I will always say, green apple and lavender. Forget about the wood. The wood is there to actually give you that punch and last forever. But the top notes are the magic of this.
yeah, this I got to get a bottle. This is date night. This is a very sensual, like, again, no point of comparison. I just talked about the Lamella Parfum. You guys know I've talked about Argos a lot. This gives me the same feels that mm, I could have said it. See, that's why I don't even need to talk about that. It'll come back to me later. But there's a particular Sally or Jims, you may know what I'm talking about. It's the Birth of Venus. Birth of Venus is a very, like, it's definitely feminine leaning, but I love it because, again, I'm into Orientals. Like, I'm a huge, and this has that Oriental profile as well, and you know that woodiness with it. This gives me the same feels that gave me, as far as, like, you talk about with the silkiness, and it's very sensual, very sexy. This you dress up. This is date night approved. This is wedding approved. This is not something I'm wearing to work every day unless I got a work wife, and I don't have one of those. Some of y'all got work wives. So some of y'all got some work wives out there. So you would wear this to work. You'd wear this to a call center somewhere. But no, this is one of those ones where it's like, you know, you can't wear that out the house without me. It gives me those feels. It does not smell anything like Birth of Venus. But what Birth of Venus did for me and the feels that it gave me is like, okay, this is like Argos' sexy fragrance. I don't know what else that Xerjoff may have, but you know, they may have something else that's better than this that fits that profile. But to me, this is pure sexiness with all due respect to the brand. Yeah.
Sure. There's three genres that Sergio, like kind of like I call it masterpiece DNAs.
Mhm.
Like for example, let's call it Aventus. It's a masterpiece DNA. Baccarat Rouge is another masterpiece DNA. Blue de Chanel, another masterpiece DNA. Like people or brands that would like, make me a Baccarat Rouge, make me a Blue de Chanel. Well, Sergio brought up, in my opinion, three DNAs that people like to make me some sort of Alexandria II. That's one. Make me some sort of Herba Pura. How many Herba Pura perfume do you see on the market?
You're right.
You see what I mean? Yeah, so it's Herba Pura, Alexandria II, and the third one lately is Tonya Yomi Monkey Special. So you will see that many brands and many other people like, I want to get an inspired expression of this one. Well, these are the three.
Man, that's good. That's good. That's good. I
And
wanna
one more thing,
go ahead. Go ahead.
one more thing to your actually occasions that you mentioned. I give you one more. Try it when it's hot and humid out there.
Really?
Really, that's the meat of wood. When you, if you got a chance, if you have a chance, I don't know, this year in at the end of October, November, it's gonna be a very important event in Dubai called Beauty World.
Yeah, I've heard it's coming up.
Yeah. If you have a chance to go to Dubai for that event, or go to Dubai in another time, but mostly I recommend you to go November because it's like less humid, less hot. But when you go there, you will find out like, oh, I was so wrong. Wood performs better and it smells better when it's hot and humid.
You're teaching me because I never hear anybody talk about that. But it makes sense because if that's one of the main No, go ahead.
I was like you, like, oh no, come on, this smells fecal. How am I gonna wear this on the hot and humid? Until, believe it or not, the perfumer of this perfume told me, try it in hot and humid since you live in Florida. I said, no, try it. So there's another bunch of, because this perfume, Alexandria II, belongs to the Oud Stars collection. I
I
don't know
see
if you
that.
can see it.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah. So the Oud Star collection is a bunch of wood perfumes there. So he told me, try it on hot and humid. Try it, try it. And then I tried on hot and humid here in South Florida. I'm telling you, that kind of fecal, kind of cheesy boneyard thing, it will go away. And you will smell the most luxurious wood that you can ever smell in your life.
This is good, Raphael. This is this is somebody, my guy John just asked a great question that I think this is a good time. If you go to the Xerjoff website, is it like a discovery set that's already in place that you can buy, or can you piece it together? How does that work?
No, you can actually choose the ones that you want.
Okay.
So the samples that I sent to you, it was on the special samples
Mhm.
that I create when someone like you or James actually, hey, let's do a live stream. Okay, I'll send you samples. So I prepared that little box.
Mhm.
It comes, I believe, with 5 samples in
Mhm.
it. But Sergio, they sell the sample set of 4, so you can choose 4 samples and create your own sample set. If you want to buy a discovery travel set discovery, they come like this in 15 ml, and you can choose the ones like it's kind of like a made to measure sample set that you can actually do it on yourself and pick. This is the 15 mls, and it looks exactly like the flacon, but it's 15 milliliters.
Yeah, those are fire, and I love the fact that the 15 mils are in that representation. So, John, you can see right here if you go to the website, you should just be able to see the sample kit option, and then you can go in and customize. Yeah, and then you can choose what you want to. Definitely make sure you add that Alexandria two to the list, because that one right there, yeah, I got to have it. I need that. All right, let's keep this thing rolling because we're picking up speed now. That's good. That's great. That's great. I think the next one we had on the list was Cruz del Sur.
Actually, let's compare Alexandria II with the recent Alexandria perfume that it was incorporated into the series.
Okay, the anniversary.
Okay, anniversary. But let me give you a little brief explanation about the Alexandria series. What I
Go
call
ahead.
series because Alexandria 2 doesn't end on Alexandria 2 only. So it has like 4 chapters, and now last year they put out the new chapter, which is Alexandria Anniversary. So we started with Alexandria 2. I don't know if you can see it,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Well, Alexandria 2. Then the brand has a Sergio ambassador in UK at the sixth floor in Harrods, and because of his knowledge, because his son is a kind of like a perfumer also, he has a lot of knowledge and a lot of content. He actually gave the idea to Sergio Momo to create Alexandria 3. And this Alexandria 3 has some of the ingredients of the Alexandria 2, but with more Bulgarian rose. It's on your face. The Alexandria 3 is more of like the Bulgarian rose amped up, basically. So I will say a little bit leaning feminine, but because of the DNA of Alexandria 2, anyone can rock this Alexandria 3. That's Alexandria 3. Then Sergio has this, like I explained to you earlier, this kind of luxury status. So some of their perfumes, they started as, for example, what Sergio does. Oh, we're gonna have an event. Okay, that event requires to create a perfume. Okay, let's create a perfume like Alexandria II. I mean, Alexandria, the very first one. And then they made a perfume for the UAE, which is right here somewhere. I don't know what is it, but it used to have a UAE here encrypted.
Okay.
And this Alexandria Oriental was made for the UAE, and it's more animalic, but they added a little bit of leather,
Mm.
more, I call it punchy, more like a wood and leather, more balsamic, definitely perfect for the UAE, for that area from the Middle East. But a couple years ago, the brand decided to include this and stop the exclusivity and add it to the website. That's Alexandria III. So if you want a little bit more animalic, more balsamic notes, more pronounced, that's Alexandria III. And then we have this beautiful one. This is very exclusive. It's still exclusive. It calls Alexandria Imperial. And that's exclusive to Fortnum and Manson. Another beautiful, beautiful. But just imagine Alexandria II with that lavender green apple, but with a touch of leather.
That sounds
This,
good.
this is a gem. This is a gem, gem, gem. You love Alexandria II, you need it. You need this 1,000 way. It's hard to get it because you only can buy it at Fortnum and Manson. But just picture the same genre of Alexandria II with a touch of leather. It's
Gotcha.
less animalic than Orientale, but a touch of leather. Then the brand in 2023 decided to kind of like homage, kind of like anniversary of 10 years of creating the very first Alexandria. So after 10 years, they create in 2023 Alexandria 10 anniversary. As you see the X there, it's Alexandria 10 anniversary.
That bottle is gorgeous.
Yeah, the bottle is gorgeous. So that's what I'm saying. Like they create the story, and the story behind is to celebrate the 10 years of the Alexandria, the very first Alexandria. So how the brand's gonna bring a 50 years old wood to add it in this homage of 10 years? Well, they found wood not as a 50 years old wood, but a wood that is very special and kind of get closer to that wood from 50 years old wood in 2012. So this is kind of like the homage of a rendition to the 2012 very first Alexandria. Then you can proceed to smell it and compare it to the very first one and see which one you like the best.
Gotcha. So definitely, this is much more oud forward, like you mentioned. It has that weird, for lack of a better term, it's like, okay, we got that oud funk going on. I like, I can appreciate this one. I know for a fact Alexandria 2 would still be my choice, but this does, when you say anniversary, like you can tell there's a lot of, this is elevated. This definitely takes things to another level, because as soon as I sprayed it, like some of that rose was the first thing that I got. And then like I said, it's much more oud forward, like you mentioned. Um, I can appreciate this for sure. Like I would definitely
Yeah.
still rock the Alexandria too, but I can appreciate the anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like people that
the anniversary has that thing that you said, like it's a little funky, a little animalic. You
Mhm.
were right. I've been watching your content, believe it or not. I've been watching your content since getting to know to the new, I call it the new blood of reviewers. And I like your content. I like your stamina. You're very energetic. You're on point when you describe you like I said to you, your face expressions are like it's telling, and
Right.
not many people has that. You get along with the camera. So this one, believe it or not, has civet. The civet is like it's pronounced with Ciprio, it amped up the wood. That's why it's so much punchy, it's on your face. I recommend this when it's hot and humid. Don't spray it inside of your house. Go out, put it in your hand, and then see and compare both of them and see what
Gotcha.
happens.
Gotcha. I can definitely do that. Yeah, because it was amplified. And but I still appreciate that Alexandria is still there. Like that nuance is still there, especially as it dries down. It's like, okay, I'm still getting that Alexandria too, but it's like, okay, this is for those who said, let's take it up a notch, So I definitely have an appreciation. Um, yeah, this is now I know several of y'all that would love this. I know several people that would appreciate this. Yeah, Dutch,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
this
That
is
that
for the one that they get along with dude already like couple years ago.
yeah,
No, for the it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for actually like, oh yeah, I want it because the bottle looks so beautiful and precious. Look at this beautiful flacon. Yeah, no. This is for the one who already experienced oud for a couple of years and adapt their noses and olfactory senses to oud and this kind of oud. That is
right.
not only oud. There's civet, there's animalic notes, there's balsamic notes, there's cypriol that is very punchy, earthy, balsamic. So yeah, but Alexandria II that's it. Out of the body is a must have.
Right. Do you find that's a part of like the craftsmanship that goes into the fragrance like the way you describe? Would you know, accredit that to much of the Italian heritage piece of it, or is that more of just the genius of the perfumery coming in? Because like I said, I know it's all tied in together, and we've kind of touched on that. But yeah, because the uniqueness of that, like I said, I haven't smelled anything like this. Like, so even with me bringing out the Lamella Parfum thing was just okay, let me give people a reference point for
Mhm.
how, okay, we've gone from the bottom floor to the top floor, and what they could expect. But do you find that there's a lot of Italian heritage woven in the decisions to um the oud and the way they do it? Or like I said, is that just a style of perfumery that they've chosen to pursue?
Well, in terms of oud related to the Italian perfumery, probably in the last 7, 10 years, is getting more into oud sometimes to put it in their collection.
Hmm.
But oud with Italian perfumery has nothing to do, to be honest. It's more likely because it's a new, for us, for the rest of the Western area, it's like a new ingredient, right? But for Sergio, like they want to have an experience for everyone and they have a strong Middle Eastern community. This is an homage to that region. That is,
Gotcha.
you have a variety of balsamic notes, frankincense, incense, or poponax, uh, you name it. So the collection calls itself, Oud Star. So it's a
Right.
homage to the Oud. So if you want something totally different than your usually releases in the last 3 years, yeah, there you go. You can have an option here, and if you enjoy it, perfect. But this Wood Star collection is like it's already more than 10 years old, and it's still rocking. They're
Right.
never discontinued. Probably they discontinue a couple of those creations, and that's about it. But it's still rocking, and if it's rocking, it's because it's selling well. So if people say like, ooh, fecal, no, cheesy, no,
Right.
no, it's still going on because a lot of people appreciate something totally different, and you can
No.
find the stars. Yeah.
And that makes sense. That is definitely a collection I'm gonna spend some more time in. What would you recommend? Like I want to let you drive a little bit. So what would you recommend out of the list that we have that where we go next?
From the list that we have,
Mm-hmm.
well, if you want to go the fruity, and this is one of the darlings of the brand, like, you know, especially the online community.
Hmm.
This is one of the darling, which is Cruz del Sur II.
Okay.
You know, people love the fruitiness, and so yeah, if you want, we can go. Let me find out where is Cruz del Sur II.
Oh yeah, this is good.
You spray already?
Yeah, I just sprayed it.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, you know, I don't know if you see the color. The color of the use is like heavy.
Hmm.
It's it's one of the like Xerjoff has their oods, they have their fruities, they have their citruses, zesty, their gourmands. But this one is one of those fruity gourmands. Like it's a vivid mango milkshake, if you want to call it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna ask, like, there's a mango aspect here, and then there's like a floral, like there's this slight green floral aspect that you get, but you did like, is there pineapple in here as well?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay,
yes,
okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes. The pineapple is not on your face. Not
Right.
even accento that it has a pineapple or purple accento or coro. Coro has more pineapple, believe it or not, than accento. But people associate more accento with the pineapple. But this one has pineapple just as supporting note. You know, something that is gonna support that kind of mango, because you cannot extract oil from a mango. So you need to recreate that. So there's some floral aspect here, and green. It's kind of like a green mango, because if you go to the and buy mangoes, there are different kinds of mango.
Right.
Kent is one of them. I don't remember the other two very famous one. This is the kind of like the green yellowish mango
Okay.
that when you peel it, it's kind of like a ready to eat. That's how you experience here. So there has some sort of a green aspect in this perfume, as well as the floral, because that's like the apple blossom, and definitely has a little bit of osmanthus as well. Just, you know, to give a little recreation of the mango and the florals. But some people say that it's very lactonic because it has creamy. It's very creamy.
So I was gonna mention, because the reason I asked about the pineapple, like this smells like a gelato. Like I had something recently when I was out of town, and I was like, yo, this smells like something I just ate. But I can appreciate, because people know that follow me. I hate things that get super milky, super lactonic. It turns me off. This doesn't
Yeah.
go that way. So this has this beautiful balance where it's like, yo, I just ate something that smells like this. This
Yeah,
is good.
it lingers. It lingers because certain people, they actually stated like, oh no no no, this is definitely creamy, like a smoothie mango. Some other people said no, it's too green, kind of like no, I don't like it. So it's a variety of you know, responses with this one. But yeah, as you said, it's like no milky, but it's like try to get into the milky area, but stop right there. Why? Because of the green leaves and the green aspect that is there, you know. And the osmanthus, you know, the osmanthus kind of like holding on, and it's creamy. It feels like more creamy, more sandalwood, cedarwood in the end. And vetiver, believe it or not, because certain people also complain that it has kind of like a bitter aspect, and
Mm.
that's the vetiver. That's the vetiver that is gonna give you at the end when it dries down. It gives you that kind of woodiness, creaminess that vetiver can give you.
This is vacation.
Yeah,
This is a nice. This is a
tropical,
nice This is a nice vacation
tropical,
scent.
tropical perfume. It's like paradise. It's like Tahiti, Indonesia. It's beautiful. I really appreciate this perfume. Um, Probably this is, I don't know, a couple of years that I sprayed this Cruz del Sur too. I haven't sprayed in a while. In a while.
Like I love, because again, y'all, people are gonna hold me accountable. Like I said, things that are super green, they make me go crazy. But again, this has the perfect balance um of all, like I said, that floral aspect. Like again, because I'm a huge and I know a lot of people in the chat aren't necessarily this way, but a lot of times I know there's a huge fight right now. People are like, especially men, like we want masculine fragrances back because everybody's kind of making unisex fragrances or things that are leaning more feminine. And I'm like, well, that's what people are buying. That's what the data says, but I'm a fan. Y'all can have the super masculine stuff. This right here is definitely more my speed. And especially because I think those fragrances that have a lot of, which is why I'm such a huge fan of like Oriental style fragrances. But to me, they just, especially if you're looking for compliments, it just something on a man's skin. It just does. The chemistry is different when it mixes with the testosterone. It just is different and it comes off different. So the same thing that a woman might wear, like I think BR 540 is a testament to that. It's like I love to smell that in the air. It is one of the most addictive smells. It's like, oh my God. But to wear on your skin and then for somebody else or female to say, wow, that smells totally different on you and I like it. I'm like, I love that response and love. And this gives me that kind of feel where it would do something similar. Like I said, right now, I tell people, I'm not just a fat kid at heart. I'm a fat kid in real life. So this immediately reminded me of like that gelato I had the other day. But no, this is super, super, super good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have converted me, Raphael. You have people gonna get sick of me because I'm like, hey man, you talking about Xerjoff a lot. I'm like, bro, if it's good, it's good. Again, it's part of the scent journey. It's part of the scent journey.
No,
So
if you don't like it, if you don't appreciate it, I always said next.
right,
That's
absolutely,
a battalion, like it's a lot of, it's like a tsunami of perfume waiting for you out there. If
right.
you don't like something, just move on next.
Gotcha. All right, what do
Yeah.
you recommend? Let's keep driving. What do you recommend?
Well, I heard some of the people, especially Jason, if he's here, James, and some other of your Dutch also, they're talking
Mhm.
about Decas. And Deca has a story as well, a storytelling as well.
Let's hear
So
about it.
we can do Decas and get still fruity, but gets more like a citrusy vibe. Why? Because it has that Mandarin accord that is so beautiful. That Mandarin zestiness, that's kind of like a creamsicle. I always call it like Decas is kind of like the typical popsicle, like an orange popsicle. Yeah. And it has one key element here, iris. The iris make it like smoother the citrusy opening and the woodiness on top.
Goodness
And what is the
gracious.
storytelling of Decas? Decas, I don't know if you know Latin, but Decas means 10. And why they actually choose the name 10? As you see, this is the red and this is the green.
Mm-hmm.
This is the green. So the Italian flag. Why Decas? Well, this collection calls 1861. If you can really see, I don't know if you can really see over here.
Yeah, I can see that.
1861. That's the collection. And why the collection called 1861? Like more than 50 years ago, Italy got their independence in the year 1861. And probably we're gonna talk about later about that, but that's the year when Italy got their independence. And this is an homage. This collection brings an homage to that era of Italy. The most popular one is Naxos.
Right.
And believe it or not, this perfume is dedicated to Sicily. Why? Because in Sicily, there's a beach called Naxos. Even though that there's a Greek island called Naxos, Sicily has a lot of Greek heritage. So in Taormina, there's a beach called Naxos. So when people back in the day were talking about, oh yeah, Naxos definitely in your fall and winter top tens or whatever you want to call it. Believe it or not, this perfume is better to use it in when it's sun, spring, summer. It's all year round, but this one, especially in summer, oh, it's another ballpark. Naxos. Then this is an homage to the Renaissance era of Italy, and that's Renaissance. And this used to call the mojito perfume because seriously, it smells like mojito, like a green mojito. Then to homage Rome, because in Rome, when you go to Rome, they have a bunch of church. This is Zefiro. And why church and Zefiro has to be related? Because it has a lot of frankincense or poponax.
Gotcha.
So it's incensey and zesty at the same time. Kind of like a contrast. It's beautiful. So because of that, when they created the perfume 10 years ago, well, not more now, because this one was released in 2021, in the middle of the pandemic. This is an homage to that collection, XD61, and that was 10 years celebration. That's what they call Decas. It means 10. And yeah, the Decas is like, I love Decas. As many other people say, like, oh yeah, Decas is a must-have. Nobody talks about it. Yeah, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, people didn't pay attention of Decas. But I'm glad, like reviewers like you on your channel, they start appreciating some of the releases of Xerjoff throughout that era. You know, between 2019 and 2023, that didn't pay attention about it because we were coming out of the woods with the pandemic. But in between, there were a lot of releases that not only from Xerjoff, that from other brands that they have to get more attention. And one of them is Decas from the 1861 collection.
The way the citrus is done in this is so different.
Yeah.
Like I was not expecting, because you talked about that Mandarin, and it's like, okay, but in the tuberose, because tuberose can be hit or miss with me. Like that's why I think 1 in the 1 millions is heavy. It's either 1 million parfum, like the original 1 million. I'm not that big of a fan of because the way the tuberose is done. And then there's a popular female fragrance that has a lot of tuberose. I'm like, gives me a headache. But the way that orange comes in, that Mandarin comes in with that is, I have never smelled anything like this. I see why I see why everybody was hype about this in the chat.
Yeah, if you actually go and read the notes, which there are not all the ingredients inside,
Right.
I'm gonna tell you that. Throughout all these years that I've been spending time in this industry, not in the community, in the industry, I learned about that. Like a couple of times throughout all these years, I watched some of the videos and some of the live streams with perfumers. So I said, like, I heard the chuckles, like, what they saying that? Because they're reading the notes, their notes are there, but there's a bunch of this other stuff that, they're not only those are just the main accords or sometimes fictional accords to try to, convince people. But at the end of the day, the only thing that is gonna convince you is this: your skin.
Right.
Then
Right.
your significant other is another part of the convince, because you can have a huge collection, but if you find the love of your life and doesn't like half of your collection, what are you gonna do?
Right.
At the end of the day, I do whatever I want, be the macho man, but at the end, no, you're gonna, it's you find the love of your life, you need to have fun with her.
Right.
You need to enjoy your life with her. So like your skin and your significant other will tell you, like, this is magnificent, I smell good on you, and you will feel like so confident when you hear that.
Absolutely.
Decas has some of the kind of like inspired genres of Naxos, Zafiro, and Renaissance. The zestiness from Renaissance, kind of like a mojito, but replacing between the bergamot, replacing with mandarin. The mandarin here is tremendous, like a creamsicle mandarin. And then you're gonna have opoponax that you actually can't find on Zafiro. Even the Zafiro has a citrus zesty opening, it has that opoponax, that frankincense that is kind of like smoky. And you're gonna have that kind of honey, but a little bit of touch of orange butter and the tuberose. The tuberose is not like a garden, it's not gonna smell like grandma, but it's kind of like a supportive floral note. Like it's gonna hold the orange butter, it's gonna hold the citrusy opening and merge to the bottom with the frankincense or opoponax kind of vibe. So it truly, I like it a lot, and I appreciate it when people start talking about Decas because it's one of the forgotten Xerjoff. That's how I call it.
And I like it because it's not loud. I
No,
see a lot of that lately where people confuse soft with weak. You know, it doesn't project like just for point of conversation, like Mattier just came out with vanilla powder extract. And so I see a lot of people who are like, yeah, it's not as loud as the OG, so it's weak. And I'm like, no, it's not weak. I'm like, there are some changes they made that makes it appear to stick closer to the skin, more of a skin scent. But all fragrances aren't meant to be loud and aren't meant to attract a whole lot of attention. Like you said, if your significant other if it doesn't matter to them, it's kind of like, hey, it's just, you yourself and I out here in these streets. But I like this is something soft that I still see is gonna get still gonna be, great projection or whatever. But this is one where it's like it's not meant to be loud. It's not meant to announce you to a whole lot of people. This is one of those ones where you just really kind of take in, and those who are really in your presence in your circle are going to enjoy it. And so I can imagine maybe that's part of the reason that it sometimes gets forgotten. That's just my opinion. Smelling experiencing this now, where people only want to talk about loud stuff. Like that's one of the comments I see most often when you talk about a fragrance. Like, well, how's the projection? Like, is that the only thing y'all care about? Like if it's not beast mode, it's like I don't want it. And I'm like, yo, every fragrance is not meant to be beast mode, So like, let's chill out a little bit.
so yeah, if you are on and about, you're gonna find out that real customers, not the online customers, they're gonna find out like, oh, if it smells good, I'll buy it. No matter what. I don't care about beast mode and stuff like that because it's only for online or people who were wishing that they're gonna bring the perfumes from the past. When they had Otmos, when they have Lily of the Valley with the lilac, or when they have a beer star. So the new customers, they don't care. As long as it smells good, they don't care what price you're gonna pay or spend. It's how it smells good and how actually it's gonna bring back memories to
Hmm.
you. One thing that I want to add, Decas, believe it or not, Decas has a little bit tobacco, but the tobacco is supposed to be kind of like from Naxos. A lot of people online associate Naxos with a lot of tobacco, which is not real. It's more like a tobacco leaf on Naxos. So Decas has a little bit more tobacco, actually a tobacco note than Naxos, which is another myth, like definitely if you put Decas and Naxos, I don't know, because of online description, they thinking, no, Naxos has a lot of tobacco. Not really. It's a Fougere vibe. It has a Fougere with gourmand accords. That's basically how Naxos it is. But Decas has that tours and tobacco, which you will see if you go through Fragrantica based notes or other, you will see that there's a bunch of perfume from the past, And lately, they have been using this kind of genre like grapefruit and ginger.
Mm-hmm.
They use tobacco with tubers. They go together, holding hands. Like, for example, to me, a lot of people praise about this imagination or
Mm-hmm.
lemensite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So, but there's a bunch of perfumes out there that it has grapefruit and ginger. They have tuberose and tobacco. You know, they have that kind of like a tea smell from imagination,
Mm-hmm.
and you can enjoy those. But thanks for them, good for them, right? That people talk about this one on TikTok, and
Right.
everybody wants to have it. Look at me, I have it because I like it. I appreciate it. But if I put it together, for example, with Decas or P33, you're gonna have something way different than your imaginations, your lemensite, or the most popular ones on TikTok or even YouTube.
People don't. Me and Jim say that we always talk about how people love to say the internet is not real. No, the internet is real.
It is. It is.
People are just interesting. And so, like you said, online, which is what I was mentioning earlier, it's like I tell people creating content is an active service, especially as a reviewer, as an influencer. When you influence people's buying decisions, that is an active service. And so, it is incumbent upon me to make sure I'm doing my due diligence to say, okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about the notes just to give people a reference point, just because they're here. But you don't want to necessarily rely on that because, like you said, it's not always 100% accurate. It's not always 100% real. And I think you do see that with a lot of these companies. Designers are really picking this up where they're like putting out these 3 accord or 3 notes. It's like, well, there are only 3 things in this fragrance, and it's like there's clearly more than 3 things in this fragrance. But I think they just got tired of influencers, and reviewers just, saying, well, it's this, it's this, it's this, and this. And then you get 1,000 other reviewers just to repeat what they heard the first person said. And then somebody comes along and is like, I know fragrance is subjective, but I don't necessarily get that, or I get something different, and then they look at that person like they're crazy, like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, nah, we're relying too much, on the information instead of the experience. And I think that's kind of been one of the downsides with just the community, the industry, and as a whole, especially with people, even in the big box retailers. I gripe about this all the time. Like, I almost got in a fight with an old lady at Macy's because I don't know when they became like the gatekeepers, and she was like, "Sir, I need to spray that for you. You can't spray that." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And she was like, "Yeah, I need to spray that for you." And I'm like, "Since when?" And so I kind of, I looked at her, I brushed her off, and I was like, "Okay." So then I just went to smell something else, and she's like, "Sir, you can't spray that." And I was like, all right, let me go on about my business because I hate to get carried out the store. But even in talking to them, I was like, y'all are worse than some of us, because it's like you don't know what's in here either. So you're trying to sell me on something and you're just making up. It's like, well, they said it lasts 48 hours. I'm like, who said that? Like, where did you get that information from? And I'm like, because maybe on clothes, but I was like, yeah, on skin, it's gonna last for 2 whole days. And I'm like, okay, that's what's up. So I try now to be a better steward of the information, to say let's really experience it, and let's let that be what leads us. We can look up the accords, we can talk about it and say, hey guys, this is what the official information is from the brand, believe it or not. But to Jim's and Jason's credit, one thing they always say, and I put it at the end of the disclaimer: get your own nose on it. Take what I say with a grain of salt, because your experience might not be my experience. So, all right. Looking at the chat, let's do prepare, because again, like I told you, Raphael, I want to make the most of our time, and I'm not going to keep you all night. We will most likely have to do a part 2 to this at some point. I know you got, yeah, because I know you're getting ready to get super busy, so we can definitely revisit. Let's do, I'm going to run one more ad or commercial, as my brother likes to say. It's going to be real quick, just to wrap up the evening, and then we will come back to one more fragrance, and I'll have one more question for you. It's been a great conversation tonight. So you guys that are in the chat, if you have not liked already, please do me a favor. Feel free, hit that like button. And Walt, we listen and we don't judge. We judge. No, we judge super heavy. We might not tell you we judge, but no, we judge. I'm gonna knock that out the park, and then we will be back and we'll finish up with Raphael, guys.
What about this before you go to the commercial?
Yes, go ahead.
Besides the other two things that you want to do, what about if we can actually answer a couple of questions from your chat? If they have some sort of question, they can prepare something that they want to debunk a myth, they want to know about the new releases, what's coming for the brand, whatever it is, and then we can do a second part another time when you have a chance.
Gotcha, absolutely. Yeah, y'all go ahead. Okay, Dutch, I see you. Anybody else that has any questions in the chat, do me a favor. Put Q and then put a Q and a colon and then ask your question. So put Q and then a colon and then ask your question. That way I can sort through it and we can get to it better. So I'm gonna run an ad real quick. It's gonna be roughly like a minute long. So you guys go ahead and get your questions, and then we'll come back and we'll get ready to wrap up tonight. Yo, party people, Fat Boy family, listen, I'm sorry to interrupt the live stream, but I just wanted to holler at y'all. First of all, just want to say thank you, man, for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be able to chop it up with you guys about fragrance life and just everything that's under that umbrella. If this is your first time, I hope you're enjoying the content. I definitely hope that you will come back. I'd really appreciate it if you guys do me a favor, because we're on the road to 20K. We're on the road to 20K subscribers, man, and we would not be there without you. So do me a favor. It costs you nothing, just a couple of seconds. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. That way you can be locked into the Fat Boy family. And then lastly, hit the bell so you can be notified every single time I'm posting new content to the channel, man. We're going live every single Monday, as long as we have the health and the strength to do so. You also know we got the Decant series where we really kind of dive into niche on Wednesday. We got the podcast, Taking Notes, and that's really getting ready to come back and take off. We got a lot of guests that are going to be featured on that. And then you already know Fat Boy Friday is the hottest thing in FragCom, man. And again, I just really, really appreciate y'all. It gives me life to be able to make content and talk about one of the things that I love. So again, I want to get back to the live. I don't want to waste any more time, but I just wanted to jump in and holler at you, say I love y'all, I appreciate you. Holler at me, tap in with your boy. All right, let me shut up. Let's go ahead and jump back to the live stream. All right, I appreciate y'all, man. One question we did have, Raphael, was from Dutch. He wanted to know how you feel about Aridel, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, Aridel was, I don't know if you can see, let me raise the table for you. Aridel, as you can see here, okay, there you go.
Oh yeah.
The section here are the 2023 releases. Some of them, they're new. Some of them, they just brought it back. For example, Herba Gold used to be an exclusive, and then they actually put it worldwide. These four chemis, they're new. Also Torino 23, Groovescape, and 10Y. 10Y, this is a fake perfume that it was created by the consumers online. They actually bought a set of 3 perfumes, and you have the option to pick the one that you like, and then you send an email. You said, I bought the discovery set. I picked the number 1 or the number 2 and number 3, and then in the end they picked the number 2, and that was it. That was created by the customers. And then there was Aridel. Aridel brought back memories to me. It's a beautiful iris perfume. Iris, like, you like iris? This is a perfume for you. This one and Apollonia, for me, the 2 iris ones and the iris from the 1717 collection. And yeah, I love this perfume. First of all, because it's the first time that I went to Italy. This is the first time that actually, for all these years that I met Sergio Momo and the whole team, is the first time that I was there at Turin. I met the brand, I met Sergio Momo, and I was at my first Essence in Milan. So yeah, the iris is so buttery. It's kind of like lipsticky, but not too much. I won't say that it's kind of like not like DHI or DHP, but the iris so realistic, so silky that I really appreciate. I really love this perfume. This one that forgotten also, Sergio, that you need to try. If you get a chance to get a sample, I would say get a sample because it's not like your BHI or DHP iris. But if you like iris, you need to try this one. Maybe you will be surprised. Yeah, that's Aridal 2023 release in March 2023.
So speaking of, let's. I do want to ask. I have a question. So in that line, in line of that question, what would be your Mount Rushmore is only 4. So let's say start. Let's do the whole NBA thing, y'all. Let's do starting 5. What would be if you had to choose 5 fragrances from all of the brand? What are going to be your 5?
Oh yeah, let's start with the number 5. The number 5, believe it or not, is this beauty. Where is it? Right here. Ceylon Food Stars. I remember when I smelled Ceylon for the first time. That was 2017. I said, "Oh no, what is this? It's kind of like animalic, fecal." My nose wasn't ready. That's simple like that. Then one day I grabbed the decan and I saw the color inside. And then when you see a darker amber color, trust me, throughout all these brands, trust me, when you see that amber color, there's a huge chances that you're gonna have a beautiful perfume in your hands. And this is it. This is my number 1 Oud Star perfume. Not even Alexandria II. It's Ceylon. You know, in Ceylon, they have a famous tea, Ceylon tea. It's like a black tea.
Right.
If you like tea perfumes with some sort of a balsamic, kind of melting frankincense notes, accords, you will love Ceylon. And that has black tea. So if you like tea perfumes, you need to try Ceylon. It's beautiful. People don't talk about that one, for example. And it's remarkable, beautiful, luxury. Number 4, to make it like a little faster for you.
Nah, you're good.
Of course, it has to be Naxos, because Naxos was my second purchase. And Naxos, like, to me, here in South Florida, it gives me a little bit of a suntan lotion vibe, believe it or not. Oh, yeah. It's silky also. It's smoother. It has that fougere with the lavender and the tonka beans. And that fougere resting in a gourmand's accords. That's exactly how it is. A little bit touch of a cinnamon, a little bit touch of a honey and tobacco leaves. No tobacco like a pipe tobacco or washi tobacco. No. This is just on the back. But the main accord is the lavender. That's how you see the color. It's darker because it gets darker with the lavender there.
All right.
And the tonka and the vanilla is amazing. So that was my 4, right? Yeah. The third one. Where is the third one? Oh, the third one is the third one is inside. Is this one? This baby here is Alexandria II, but it's not the perfume. It's the attar oil. This is the attar oil. So, you like the lavender in Alexandria II? Oh, you got the ilang. Look at this.
Wow. Do they sell that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's how it comes. You see, you pop it up like this, and you see here, and then I don't know if you're gonna drop. Probably no. I have to grab more, but it's gonna drop. It's gonna drop.
Yeah,
There
we
you
got
go.
it. Go ahead.
There you go.
There we go.
I mix this with Apollonia, for example. I
Okay.
blend this. Like, it has that lavender, but remember, lavender is part of the mint family. So it's kind of minty away.
Mm-hmm.
But there's lavender and lavandin. So there's certain lavenders that this kind of comes off a little minty. That's why when the perfumer mix it up with geranium, you feel, oh, it's minty. But yeah, no, not precisely minty. It's kind of combination of the geranium and lavender and clary sage that it makes you feel, oh, it's so minty. But if you put out more citruses on top, it's gonna feel like pepper, like a fresh pepper or spearmint. It's gonna make you feel like a gum, like a peppermint
Mm-hmm.
gum. Yeah. In this case, the lavender is kind of spicy. Oh, it's beautiful. I love this. And then when I spray Apollonia, which it has iris, I kind of like I don't know. Back in the day, I'm 52 years old. So back in the day when I used to have a cold or flu, my mom used to rub Vicks on my chest.
Yeah.
That kind of lavender, it makes you relax. So sometimes when I kind of like, you know what, I want to smell like a baby, I rub a little bit of this,
Okay.
put a Polonia, and voila, until 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's my third, right? That's
Yep, that's 3.
Ceylon, Naxos, Alexandria II. Number two. Ooh,
Uh-oh.
number two. Yeah, number two is there. Number two is there, but let's do number two this, okay? This is another iris perfume. As you can see, I love iris, okay? But I love also my leathers because back in the day, in 1986, this is the first perfume that I bought. My own
That's
money.
classic right there.
Yeah, washing my dad's car. It's like, let me get some tips. And I gave my tips and I bought my Dracar Noir in 1986. This is Picobaya Dama. Picobaya Dama, it was another exclusive for the Russian market. And it was for an event. And then a lot of people talk about it. I said like, oh no, we need to make another one. And the Russian market asked, hey, we're gonna do an event and we're gonna make another Picobaya Dama. So they make another Picobaya Dama, but now this time exclusively for the airport in Russia. And that's how become a Picobaya Dama with a touch of leather. Then when the market was closed and then they tried to like, yeah, what we gonna do? Kind of like, okay, so they brought Picobaya Dama and put it in the website and now it's worldwide distributed. And Picobaya Dama is on base of the Queen of Spades. That's what it means in Russian. The Queen of Spades. I don't know if you read that book based on, I forgot his name, but that's the book
Okay.
of a lady that it goes to a casino and try to trick the people. And actually they make a movie of that, the Queen of Spades, and on base of that book. And this one has a beautiful iris. It's like, this is luxury in a bottle. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it has that kind of vibe of Chanel number 5 aldehydic vibe with a lot of citrus on top. So the citrus on top makes the difference between, Chanel number 5 and this one. But to me, if you love Chanel number 5, but you find that Chanel number 5 is too feminine, this is not only cover the feminine, part of that, especially for the woman, but also for men. For men, they're gonna appreciate this so much. This is like upscale. This is for your, black tie, like for ceremonies. This is class. It's like luxury in a bottle. Like one day, I remember that I met for the first time in 2018 a very well-known France reviewer, and he said to me like, "What are you wearing, bro?" He likes to use the word "bro," so you probably know who he was. But and he likes to spinning around, do the spinning, all that thing. So he said to me, "Man, you smell so good. What are you wearing?" "I'm wearing Picobaya Dama." "Man, you smell regal." And that's it. Yeah, he was right. He always got these catchy phrases. So he said, "Yeah, it is. That's how it is. It's regal." That's exactly what this perfume is. It's regal. Picobaya Dama, part of the 1717 collection. And my number one perfume, and believe it or not, with all this collection down the bottom from designers, from niche, from even from Xerjoff, is still my number one since I smell it. The only perfume so far, well, a couple perfume after that give me goosebumps. This is Via Cavour one. Via Cavour one. And I don't know if you remember the story, what I was telling you, the 1861 collection, where Decas, Naxos, Sephira, and Renaissance is there, right? Remember when I mentioned that in 1861, Italy got independent? They actually get their independence. Well, the father of the Italian independence it was Benzo Camillo Cavour. So Benzo Camillo Cavour was the father of the Italian independence. And this perfume back in the day in 2018 when it was released was exclusive for the Torino boutique. In Turin, Sergio had their first boutique, and the street where the boutique is located is Via Cavour, the father of the Italian independence. That's why they put Via Cavour. Now the Milan boutique, the Frankfurt boutique, and next the Lisbon boutique are gonna have their own exclusives. Now Via Cavour is not exclusive anymore. You can find it on website and several other outlets that authorize distribution of Via Cavour, and Via Cavour is something else. Like to me, it's not like a wow, this perfume is a must-have, it's a brilliant. No. It actually checks every corner of perfumery that you're looking for. Mass appealing, classy, easy to grab. It's a damn rich. You won't harm anyone with your woods or with your leathers or with your incense. This is appealing for everyone, any occasion, any season. It checks everything. As a matter of fact, let me show you how much I adore this perfume. Empty bottles.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Empty bottles. And I got the very first Via Cavour that it was kind of like made. And it only says Via, it says there, Cavour 1. But because of Cavour 1 was the father of the Italian independence, they just put the Via, which means a street. So yeah, this is the very 2018 batch that I don't touch it anymore. So this perfume comes in this size, 50 ml, and also comes in these little ones and samples.
This is beautiful. This is
Oh,
fire.
you spray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Yeah, it checks everything that you're looking for. Like when I went to Neiman Marcus today, I was talking to the sales associate because I have to do something related to the brand. So he asked me like, which is your favorite Sergio? I said, oh, you won't believe it, but it's not Tony Iommi, it's not Naxos. My number one Sergio is Via Cavour number one. It has that enchanting. That's the word. Enchanting. Like
That's a great way. That's a great word to describe this.
it's enchanting. It's like chocolate, peach, kind of like a berries in between. It has that quince, this is the fruit. It has that patchouli, kind of chocolate patchouli. Like when you want to, back in the day, I used to buy flowers with chocolates and strawberries, back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. That's the way that, or you used to write a letter,
Right.
I used to do that. So this perfume is kind of like that. It's like a poem of love, a poem of appreciation, a poem like, I don't want to offend you. I want to invite you to know me. It's enchanting. You want to enchant people with that. It's not only for men, believe it or not. It's also for women. It's very unisex. It's, like I said, it checks all the marks in perfumery. No one's gonna tell you that you're gonna smell bad. No one's gonna tell you why you're wearing with a face like that. No, they actually, what is that? Sergio, what the heck? What is Sergio? What is Sergio? Like, But then when you say, well, this is the perfume, has kind of like a chocolate, peach, kind of like a strawberry, and believe it or not, Kemi, the Kemi collection, has kind of like the darker version of Via Kabul. And I shouldn't
Okay.
send you a sample of this one. It
Okay.
calls Orum, which in Arabic means gold.
Mm.
And this is more like a strawberry and patchouli, darker with a touch of wood. That is incredible, incredible as well. So if you don't like too much of us Via Kabul and you want more like a darker and more dense, you have your option with Orum, which means gold.
I like
But
this.
if you like the one that you needed, like damn rich, like perfect, let's do it. Boom.
Yeah. And as
Yeah.
a gourmand lover, there are a lot of gourmand nuances here that check off the box. I mean, like this
Yeah.
is good. This is
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah.
This is
It's
good.
like when you are in 100. For example, I'm gonna put an example. Okay, you go with this perfume 100 miles per hour. Okay, all
Right.
right. But with this one, you are almost at the limit. That's the that's the description that I can tell you. Like you truly appreciate it, but this is too much. It's too much It's too much coumarin, too much tonka bean, vanilla. It's too much sometimes.
Hmm.
I prefer the new one, the On the Rocks, which is kind of fresher. Even this one, the raspberry one,
The parodies,
beautiful.
yeah.
I wish the raspberry lasts more, but I prefer On the Rocks. But with Bia Kabur, you're not gonna have that. You're not gonna have. It's not gonna just kind of like boxing you to a one season or 2 seasons. This is all year round. That's Bia Kabur.
Yeah,
It
I can tell.
checks,
I can
checks,
tell.
checks, checks.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
tell. This is definitely a all year around fragrance. And in operation, man, this is why we want to do more of this, to what you said, because again, um, there's such a there's such a lack. For lack of a better term, there's such a lack of an opportunity to learn about houses. When I came into the space, that's why I appreciated Jim's and Jason, for what they were doing, and Dedrick for what they were doing, because they were bringing in perfumers and different things, and you get to hear the background story. I'm a storyteller, so I want to hear the context. I know everybody doesn't care about that, but hearing that puts the fragrance in perspective, and it gives it another layer to help you kind of make it come alive for the viewer, because we're getting close, but smell-o-vision doesn't exist yet. And so I have to make it relevant enough for you, as you said, to paint a picture, to say, okay, let me present this in a way that allows you to connect with something where you can't smell it, but you can imagine, well, I have a reference point for that. I have a reference point for that. Man, like this patchouli and chocolate, like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. And so I first of all, Raphael, I definitely appreciate you for what you bring to the space, what you bring to the community, man, giving you your flowers. Like I said, this is historic, you know, for me, because you are the first official. You will definitely not be the last person, and this will not be your last time. But you are the first official interview that we've done on the channel, and it represents my scent journey. As okay, we're growing. Like I tell y'all, I love fragrance, point blank, period. We know what all the hype is right now. And I told you guys, where I spend my money at is a lot different than a lot of the things that I talk about, because we know what gets the views, we know what gets the subscribers, and we know the business side of the platform. But as we're growing, that's why I've tried to position myself as like, hey, come with me on this journey. You know what I'm saying? Let's experience these things together. You know, I'm not going to jump out here and tell you, hey, you know, I hate this. I don't wear this anymore, because it's like, no, like, that's like me saying I hate home. Like, it's home. It's where I grew up at. It's what made me. It has become such a part of who I am and the things that I represent. But there is a time where your appetite for things change. As a baby, you love milk. As those teeth start to come in, and if you have parents that if they ever give you a sip of Kool-Aid, or they ever let you bite a chicken leg or something like that, it just opens up the floodgates, and it's like, I gotta have that. You know, there are certain vegetables that I didn't eat as a kid that I love and appreciate now. There are certain things that I love then that I don't love now. Fragrance is the same way. You grow, you appreciate. There are certain, you know, types of music that our parents listen to. Now, I'm a music head, so I've always been a fan of music, but there are some things that's just like, you get older, you grow up. Fragrance, like, I don't understand why people are offended by growth. It is the weirdest thing to me, where it's difficult for people to grab hold to. You guys have hung in there with us tonight. The numbers have been decent. I knew, because I just know what the statistics and the analytics are. I was like, okay, I know what the crowd is going to look like. I know what the crowd is going to look like, because people are going to be like, we're talking about niche. And I was like, no, we're talking about fragrance, bro. I'm talking about some great stuff that if you smelled it, like, yeah, I love liquid broom. I love it. You know, those things are cool. Like, I love Dumont. I love all of that. We're going to talk about that. But you can't tell me that if you were to get your nose on this Viva Cavour or this Alexandria II, like the way I did, you can't tell me, ooh, I hate niche. You can't say that. Now, you might say, is there a clone? There's some things that's just like, these are things that are like not clonable. Like, people may try, but it's like, nah, these are things where it's like, nah, there's nothing out there that smells like this. It's not going to come close. They may be able to pull out different aspects, but as a whole, it's like, nah. And so that's how I try to present my content. This tonight is another opportunity to do that. So I try to tell people, I was like, hey, we're going to pull in a lot more of these conversations, a lot more niche, a lot more different things, because these are the things we're experiencing. These are the things we're getting our nose on. So I don't need y'all to get scared. I don't need y'all to get panicked. We're not about to take a hard left and just completely jump off the cliff and go. That's not what's happening. We are embracing everything, and I'm pulling you guys in to say, hey, if nothing else, sample it. If you don't like it, then cool. But if you get the sample like I did, and you're like, wait a minute, like, I can't deny, like, because what I'm smelling right now off my arm, like, is pure goodness. Let's say, like, it is crazy. Matter of fact, I have not hit that tonight, so let me go ahead. It is crazy work. It is that right there. It is that splat. That's that splat. It is one of those ones. I have no problem admitting that, you know, because there are levels to this. So again, that's my rant for the night. I just wanted to say that, Raphael, I appreciate you so much for your time. Like I said, I wanted to make sure it was efficient as possible, and you have given us a lot of story, a lot of background, a lot of emphasis, some things I'm going to be thinking about, because yeah, we got some bottles that we definitely need to get. But anything else that you wanted to say in chat, if you guys have any questions, again, I'll try to catch those before we let him go. But anything else you wanted to say, you know, before we kind of wrap up for the night?
Yeah, listen to you and listen to your latest streams. First of all, the when you actually read the meter of growth, you're gonna have these people like, oh, they hate me because I'm growing. Yeah, no, actually, that's the best indicator that you're
Mhm.
growing. So don't worry about that. Don't pay attention about it. Don't sound like you complaining. I think that I dropped a comment a couple weeks ago when you were doing a live stream, like also on EQ, like don't ever complain. If you complain, you're showing weakness.
I remember that.
So the best way is like just keep going. And I saw something in you, like I said to you in private, like there's something in you that I like it that is different. And when you brought up to the table something different, that's when you actually getting out of the genre. And that's why you're gonna grow. So keep it going. You're doing the like I read some comments like I love the energy. That's exactly what your channel means. It's the energy with you. You put that kind of like a band. It makes me feel like college here at FIU. That band like oh I wish that I can go back. But every time
Right.
you your opening is like, oh my God, this is what I wanted, pumping me up. That I really want to be on your chat and drop some comments. That makes you unique,
I
as well as
appreciate
this
that.
perfume. Some of these perfumes will stand up to among through the other perfumes that you have in your collection because they have uniqueness. And that uniqueness starts with one little thing that it probably is not important for certain people online, but it's a storytelling. It starts with a story. And then after the story, it comes with the perfume, the packaging, the marketing, and everything. So online is a different ballpark that when you are out and about. You're touching grass, out and about, dating, mingling, all the stuff. You need to focus on that because that's life. You know what I'm saying? So life is more important. Definitely, internet is real and it's necessary because this is a new life also. But it's all depend on you how you manage this new life, this new era. So yeah, pretty much I will say Sergio represent me. That's how I choose, and that's why I choose Sergio. It represents me. It's elegance, it's storytelling, and it goes right to the point. You like it or you don't like it. It's black and white. There's no gray. Black and white. You like it or you dislike it. That's it. Move on. Left. Swipe left or next. That's it. And that's how what I perceive Sergio's message. It's a multisensorial experience.
I appreciate that. That is the essence of, I mean, what you just said. Great summation, essence of what you said tonight. Gems, my bad, because I'm gonna definitely get you in on part two because I know we still be talking to about 12 o'clock tonight, and I know we also had some other things that we need to do. But those of you guys that have been in the chat, man, I appreciate y'all. Bo Dominican, Erica, Dutch, Frank, I see you. Operation Tech Takeover, Mo, I know you're in there. Chris, I appreciate you. Everybody, man, you guys have hung in there. It's been amazing. Like I said, we're going to do more of this. We're going to do more of this. You guys know I love breaking up the monotony. I like talking about fragrance, but I am a storyteller, and so I love talking about stories and things that are going on in the community, in the industry, and like Rafe said, in real life. In real life, like sitting behind this computer is cool. It's easy. That comes natural. But and that was the beauty of the internet. It allowed us to connect with people from all across the planet. And COVID came and it forced us to really kind of, just really sit behind this camera. But we're outside, man. We are outside, and I'm looking forward to doing more partnerships, more collaborations. Appreciate that. Subscribe. More collaborations, more partnerships, more meetups. You know what I'm saying? Sally, Jason, I appreciate all of y'all. Definitely. We might not get to Dubai later this year, but I plan on seeing some of y'all in New York, at Sin Explore. Your boy will definitely be in the house. And so, because this is what it's all about, and these are the things that the community needs more of. So Raphael, again, we definitely appreciate you. You guys, if you have not hit the like button yet, do that. You know, it costs nothing. That lets other people know, you know, that this is the type of content, you know, that you want to see. You know, it's your way of saying, hey, I like this style of content. Let's do more of this style of content. And if you know other people who are kind of in the similar position I've been in, where it's like, yo, we're on a scent journey, we're exploring niche more. Like, I'm a huge fan of niche. I'm not a hater. I just love fragrance, y'all. If it smells good and it makes me feel some type of way, we gonna talk about it and we're gonna buy it. And that goes back to the disclaimer. There would be no slander. Like what you like, love what you love. Spend your own money. Don't let other people spend money for you. And the way you do that is you get your own nose on it. So we're gonna wrap up the night. Again, I appreciate y'all. Be on the lookout. I got a lot of content. A lot of content. I'm gonna just say it again. We have a lot of content because we're about to go into shopping season. This is our season. You know, we've had a couple of deals and discounts here and there over the past, but this is our season. So, you know, word to the wise, to all of my creators out there, don't wait until the holidays to start creating content. Go ahead and do it now. So it'll already be in the algorithm's favor by the time it get there. Some people say, why are you giving out? I'm like, bro, I'm not gatekeeping knowledge. I'm trying to tell y'all, because I'm gonna do the same. So if you see me out here hoing, you know, and silent nighting, you know, you know what's going on. And like, cause there's several of these that are on my wish list. You know, I'm about to send out a couple text messages and be like, hey, so, you know, you think about doing some Christmas shopping this year? I need you to stop over there to Xerjoff and holler at them people and tell them Fat Boy sent you. I need that right there. Yeah, so I'm excited. We got a lot of content coming. We got a lot. There's going to be a lot more niche coming on the channel. I will be honest with you, and to Rafe's point, I'm not gonna complain. We're not going down that route. We're gonna start out like we can hold out. You guys know what I say. But I love it all, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, the clone industry right now is overwhelming. It is a lot. There are like, and I don't even have all of the fragrances, nor do I want them. There are at least 30 to 40 new releases out right now. I mean, that have like between August and September that are floating. I work. I have a real life. I work. You know, I got a family. I like to go to sleep. This is not full time, and I don't know if I would want to do this full time. But there's a lot. There's a lot out here, and I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I shared this before, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We're going to be more intentional. You know, I'm not gonna review 10 impressions or inspired by takes of the same thing. we're not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. So you know, you'll see what happens, but I'm like, we're not, because it doesn't serve you guys well. And I don't want you out here trying to buy 10 different bottles or something, trying to find, no. Behind the scenes, you will see a lot of shorts, and you'll see, okay, we'll do some testing here and there. And then we'll just arrive at what is going to be the best value for you. You guys know I'm all about value. Raphael has presented the brand in a way tonight where it's like, okay, I believe the value in what he's talking about. We're not just going to get something just because it's expensive, you know, nor do we entertain those conversations. If it's value, if the value is there for you, that's what we're going to promote. And so, yeah, bro. And because I want to wear the fragrance, it's hard as an enthusiast getting a chance to wear the fragrances you love when you got to review 20, 30, 40 different fragrances. So for all of you who want PR and all of these different things, be careful what you ask for. Stay true to yourself. Low and slow. Let's cook brisket. Low and slow, chill out. Stay on this journey. Get there when you get there. Because there are a lot of people, they will tell you. Part of the podcast, we're going to do a creator series. And so I'm about to do a lot of conversations with other creators and influencers. Some of those things are already scheduled. Some of the recordings have already happened. So be on the lookout for that to come out. because that's something I want to talk about. I want to bring more transparency, you know, to the community, and for you guys to get to know these people like off camera, so to speak. We're going to be on camera, but I want you to be able to see them, quote unquote, off camera, you know, let their hair down, you know, because it's like, there's a lot out here, you know, like I said, and again, I'm going to reiterate what Raphael said. I'm going to combine that with what Dedrick says all the time. We're not going to complain. Positive vibes only. I just like to make sure you guys know what's coming on the channel, you know, so that way you have a heads up, you can start to prepare yourself, and nobody's in an uproar or anything like that. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all rock with your boy. We're on the road to 20K. I had no anticipation. I had no expectation of like getting to this point when I first started. I just wanted to talk about something I love. I just wanted to explain to people what sillage meant, because people don't know what that means. I wanted to explain to people what's the difference between EDT, EDP, Parfum, and Extrait. I wanted to explain to people that elixir is not a concentration. You know, it's really just a marketing ploy. Those are the things that I want to talk about, because there are a lot of people. TikTok has ushered in, YouTube as well, but TikTok is a machine that is ushering in a lot of people into our space. And because of the way I approach content, I want to make sure I'm a good steward over fragrance and that we're educating people properly. That's me, my house. I can't speak for everybody else, nor do I want to. So those are the things that you can expect. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. It's all good. I will holler at y'all on the flip side. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, I will catch you guys in the next video. You guys have an amazing evening. Xerjoff, Raphael, again, I appreciate you. It's been a joy tonight. But yeah, y'all have a good one. And I'm going to take you out. You know what I'm saying? Usually we get more band in, you know, so I'm going to take you out, you know what I'm saying, with some Southern, the human jukebox, you know, in here. Let's get some of this, this Leon Mutt going.